So Figma Motion just came out, and I think this is going to be a really big deal for product design and the motion design industry. I'm a motion and product designer, and I'm really excited for this. Previously, motion design has been pretty inaccessible. It's difficult and time-consuming to work with, and there hasn't been any code-first motion design tools that work directly in a design system. But now we have this tool, and it's built into Figma. So in this video, I'm going to go over how Figma Motion works. I'm going to give you the fundamentals of motion design if you aren't familiar. And then at the end, I'm going to create a real-life prototype with Motion and implement it with React. Currently, there are effectively two ways to do motion design. The first is After Effects, which is much more of a compositor and not something that's easily translatable to the web. Video files are big and add overhead for users. But then there are tools like Rive, which aim to solve this, but their intended format is a Rive-specific file and runtime that you have to integrate into your website. But Figma Motion completely changes the ballgame here, because you can animate directly in Figma with the existing design system now, where the product lives, and then take that and deliver the actual animation code to the developer. This simply makes motion highly accessible across your entire product. So if you're an existing motion designer, a graphic designer, or a product designer, how do we use this? To get started, all you have to do is jump into Figma and click the Motion tab next to the edit mode here. I think the easiest way to start learning is to apply the foundations of motion first. So I'm going to create a frame that is 3840 by 2160 or 4K. I'm going to create a box in my composition here first, and then I'm going to go ahead and click Add Animation here. After we do this, Figma creates a timeline down here for us from 0 seconds to 2 seconds. This default animation that was applied is non-editable by us. Figma has a bunch of default animations that we can quickly apply if we want, but I want to show you how to do this by hand with keyframes first. So I'm going to toggle this position animation off, and then making sure my playhead is at 0, I'm going to look over in the properties panel on the right here, and I'm going to animate the position across the screen. Motion design works by keyframing. You set where the animation starts and where it ends. To do that, I'm going to hit this little button right here, and this will create a keyframe at time 0. Then I'm going to move the playhead to about 500 milliseconds and move the shape across the screen. Great, we have our first animation. But as you can see, when it moves across the screen, it's not very smooth. It just starts and ends really abruptly. Right now, it's animating linearly at a constant rate. But we can control this. So if we select these two keyframes at the bottom here and click this little line icon, it'll open up the easing menu. Here we can select a default ease if we want to, but we want to create our own. So this shape here is basically a mini timeline. The x-axis is time and the y is completion. So if we stretch this bottom point out, we can modify the rate of completion here. So by doing this, it'll start really slow and pick up speed over time. And if I play this back, that's what we'll see. Now, this feels really smooth at the start, but I don't really like that it lands really hard. It's kind of weird. So what we want to do is we want to stretch out this top point as well, which creates an S-curve, and it's probably the most well-known shape in motion design of all time. Okay, we have our curve. Now, when I play this back, it's going to feel really smooth and natural. So I want to add rotation to this animation. How do we do that? Well, we just go back to the Properties tab here. I can add a rotation keyframe here at time 0. Then I'll add another one at 500 milliseconds and play this back. This looks pretty good, but something feels off here. A good rule of thumb with motion design is that if things are happening in the same duration, they should have the same ease. Otherwise, the animation can kind of feel cluttered or weird. So if I select all 4 of these keyframes here and click the little curve icon here, I'm going to go down to Custom Beziers so they're matching and reapply my S-curve. And now when I play it back, it's going to feel much better and more natural. So that's the foundation of animation. Just with knowing the basics here, you can start to combine and layer until you get something really cool. And I'm going to show myself doing exactly that in just a moment, putting this to the test. But first, I want to try Figma's AI animation tools. Figma has been adding AI everywhere. It's a little exhausting, particularly because LLMs don't really have a sense of taste. So I'm really curious here how well Figma's agent will work. I'm going to grab a design that I was working on in another project and copy it into my other file, give it a background here because it's missing one. So if we go over to the agents panel here, I just want to ask it, can you animate this? I could give it a huge list of things that I want it to do, but I just want to see what it'll do by itself. Okay, it just finished up. I'm going to play it back here, see how it looks. That looks pretty good to me. Is this exactly what I would do? I don't know. It kind of depends on the context. But I really want to see these components clicking down. I want to see like a kind of a scale animation here. Okay, so can you animate the variable group components as if they were springing down and scaling as the user clicks down? Make the toggle slip their on and off states during this. Now we wait for those precious tokens to be burned. This is kind of taking a while. Just really thinking about this. Okay, it finished up here. The second message was taking a really long time, but it finished up. And I think it looks pretty good. I don't really like what it's doing with the toggle flip down. Feels a little weird and jerky, but overall pretty good. So was this faster or better than what I could do? Well, it's complicated. I could just animate this by hand and have it be right from the very beginning without spending tokens. It's true that AI can be helpful, but it's a tool at best and not a replacement for a designer or an engineer. So we have the basics of Figma Motion. Now I want to put it to the test. I wanted to create a real prototype interaction and animation that I could send to a client. So I blocked out some time and I built a button component and a menu pop-up in about 10 to 20 minutes, and I started animating everything. I added a scale and opacity animation to the main button to simulate a click, and then I started it on the drawer where I had each item spring into place. Then I copied that component as a variant into my composition, and this is the end result. But it wasn't interactive yet. I wanted to see if I could turn this animation into a real prototype. So after some wrestling with the prototyping tools, I got this. If I click it, you can see it's interactive. We can actually fix the looping here. If I select that frame and click this little button until there's the cross through it, refresh the mockup, and it should work now most of the time. Sometimes it breaks. So I can't believe that I can do this quickly. From start to finish, it took me maybe like 20 to 30 minutes to figure all of this out. But obviously, the most powerful thing here is that this can become code. I could hand this over to a developer, but I want to see if I can implement this in React with the Figma MCP. So going one step further, I gave the link to Codex. And after some back and forth, this in all its glory is the final result. In just about an hour, I was able to design a component, animate it, and implement it as a real React prototype. Look at this. This is so cool. I think that this is just scratching the surface, and the use case for Figma Motion is going to be wide. As a motion designer, I'll definitely be incorporating this into client work because now I can work directly where the brand already is. I think if you're a product designer, a founder, or a marketer, or anybody else, I hope you can start to consider how motion can start becoming a first-class part of your brand. Anyways, what do you think of Figma Motion? Do you think it's going to be useful? I think that the design industry is changing really fast right now, and for me, it feels really overwhelming. So that's why I wanted to try to start making these types of videos for myself and for maybe others who find it useful. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. If you liked the video, please subscribe. It's really inspiring, and I'll catch you in the next one.